So hey, how's it going? Okay, so we are going to continue on with part two of Moon Magic. And first thing though, first is like a part of what I'm doing for the new moon phase is I'm when with nutrition things and with like the physical discipline stuff, I really don't incorporate that stuff into my magical practice because I just do it. The food thing is easy for me, and that's kind of where I'm at. Is I basically want to be on that. As I said before, I found out that I ceilinged out with just thinking that it all sort of lies in food, and there's so much more than that. So I'm just going to give you a quick what I'm eating. I'm going into a like short 2 or 3 day juice fast, and then I'm eating, and then a juice fast. And anyways, so for today I have these sprouts: buckwheat sprouts, lentil, mung bean sprouts, sunflower sprouts. So you can't juice these, and I don't want them to go to waste. So until I can expend these, I'm going to do blended fast. So hey, my kitchen's just right there. I don't want to bother with the camera. Eventually we're going to get into that. But I've got a handful each of each sprout. That's buckwheat, the lentil, mung beans, the sunflower sprouts, a few nice slices to taste, your own taste of ginger, some big heaping spoons of coconut butter. I'm a high-fat vegan. Good fats are good for you. So also in this we are going to put this is purple cabbage that went through the whole fermentation process, and then and it's just out. And when you dip into these, use a clean spoon, and always use a fresh spoon if you're not going to put it to the fridge. So because they'll get possibly a mold or something going on that. And generally the white sort of mold, that's okay. It's the black mold and other different colored things that you want to watch out for. And so yesterday I ate my last solid meal, and I took green onions that were left over and squash and just threw them inside there. I kind of always do that. I've just, to kind of keep this stuff fed up. So we're going to put this and this, and then we're going to put some vinegar in there, and then we're going to blend it up into a soup. So here's the dinner, the one meal, the calorie restricted life that I live, the meal I eat as much as I want in this one little time. So this is the three kinds of sprouts: the buckwheat, the lentil and mung bean sprouts, the sunflower seeds. They were blended in with the ferment in the jar that I showed you, with the onions and the squash just thrown in there. Couple slices of ginger, some mushroom, maitake mushroom cook water from last night's dinner, which is pretty much the only thing cooked I eat nowadays, which is mushrooms. Some vinegar, and yeah, that's it. And then I blended that over, and then I topped it off. Let's see. I topped it off with some astragalus from Jing Herbs, a half a teaspoon, some hoshu from Jing Herbs, some pine pollen, and drizzled a little olive oil on there. So getting more into like what it takes to stay young when you're 52 years old as I am. Got to keep that chi up, got to keep that yin jing up, and got to keep that testosterone up. Or yeah, both males and females need that. So anyways, gonna have a and that's absolutely fabulous. And in my time of doing 90 days of blended foods, I did indeed find out that it's best, as I was eating blended soups every single day. I did really find out the technique. And the soups you want to keep simple. Like I do all these elaborate dressings and everything, and they work because they sort of get diluted with the food. when you're using these dressings and sauces. But with the soups, it's just concentrated everything, and you want to keep it simple. And that's why avocado, cucumber, and lemon works great as a soup, because it's really simple. And it's like, you can make some of these complex soups, and the first couple of bites will taste good, and then you get after that and it's like, ooh, because it's too intense, because it's all blended up and it doesn't have that sort of the empty space kind of making it work the way it does in a salad or some other meal. So anyways, I'm going to eat this up, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about some new moon magic. So on to the magic part of watching me now. So living more of a magic life, one of the most important things to do is to set aside magic time. And even at my worst, I always had magic time for myself every day. And that would usually come in the form of, back when I worked a proper job, I worked in construction as a surveyor, as a supervisor, in a job called grade checking. I had to be in faraway places at like 6:30 in the morning. I got up super early just to have at least a half an hour to myself for magic time. And so you need to set up magic time to do all of this, to be regular all the time. So on we go. So in general, the journal, the magic book, the just keeping lists, revising them and going over them, that's magic. That's putting intention out there for ways that you want to invoke change. Okay, so you made a list of stuff and you know what it is that you're in for, and I'm not going to, again, this is not me teaching a class so much as telling you what I do. So we are now, as of last night, we're in the waxing moon. And so the magic statements, the magical practice, the magical wishes that we do have to do with acquiring. And then when the moon is full and back down towards the new moon, that is wanning. And that is the thing for removal. I have problems with money, removed. I have this horrible relationship with lover, with friend, removed. Or tension to do with that, removed. So this is acquiring. All right, so just going to get on with this really simple. So pick a few statements. Construct them in the positive sense. Get yourself a piece of paper. This is parchment that I'm using. When I started this particular area of magic in my life was nearly 2 years ago. I have a lot of variations on this. I originally started with paper, and then last year I started going back to a magic shop, a witch shop in Long Beach called Eye of the Cat that I used to go to when I was in my mid-20s. And last fall I sort of started a practice of like getting away from my house, driving down there in the middle of the day, going to the shop. My favorite vegan Buddha bowl restaurant called Steamed happens to be down there. Go there, have lunch, and then go to the beach. And I would do a lot of magical practice, and as we go on with this, on the beach and doing this very thing that we're doing right now, having to do with the ocean. Okay, so my thing that I'm working on is basically I want to have deeper, more frequent, more intense meditations. So I'm just going to read you what I wrote on here, okay? And so this is extracted from the major list of stuff. You kind of want to focus down to one thing. Like, for example, last year I was really working on getting myself focused as a musician and focused more as a independent person doing music creativity and music business. Like, I'm not interested in having somebody do my work. It's impossible for what I want, because I'm not interested in compromising with anybody. It's just absolutely impossible. So I have to achieve some of these things. So some of these things that are going to happen, some of them may be pretty easy, and it's going to happen quickly. Some of these things may be more elaborate, and it's going to take more time. For example, in the back of that kitchen back there, I have a sigil that has to do with me having a tidy kitchen. And the reason I'm untidy has to do with deeper issues with me. And eventually, that's going to wind up being amazing all the time. But it's obviously, and the same with the music business part. A big part of me becoming a better music business person was getting out of being involved with relationships, wanting relationships, pursuing relationships with people. And that has to do, in another video, I will talk about why that disappeared. Okay, so here's what I have written on my piece of paper. I am more focused, intense, and frequent in my meditations. One statement. I have a deeper understanding of this world, the spiritual world, the veil between us, as well as the inhabitants of both worlds. I have a deeper, more complete understanding of the secrets of God. And then this is another one to do specifically with Raziel, and I'll get into my relationship with Raziel later. I have more of a focused understanding of Raziel and my relationship with Raziel. Raziel is an archangel. So anyways, we take this every day during magic time. Ultimate, if you do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. I've never done it more than 4 times a day. So here's the step. You want to, if you don't have any essential oils or anything like that, until you become more of a magic practitioner, just use what's around you. So just grab water, or salted water, or bless some water. So I have some oil that I got from Eye of the Cat that's called New Life. And so I just take this and I put it like all over my hand, basically. Rub them together, take my message, put my own intent in there, and ask all spiritual guides, all divine beings, all deities of my highest cause to have this come true, and I offer it up. And the reason I like doing this on parchment with this oil is it starts getting kind of foggy. It starts coming. So I had a little dropout there. I probably got too many windows open on the computer. But anyways, so when you do this, it doesn't matter that the writing gets smeared out. In fact, that's kind of ultimate. And that's why I use this. And then we just put these aside. So these messages, you do a couple every day, and we're just going to save these, and then we're going to burn them on the full moon. Okay, so we're just going to put these aside. It's probably a good time to establish some kind of call it an altar space. That could be just a cigar box where you keep your oil or whatever. My whole thing has changed over time. I used to live with people. At times it used to be in my studio, which I'm a live alone now, so my studio is, as you can see, is all over my house. My magical space is all over my house. So I'm going to do these every day. At least once. At least once. So just you're going to find all kinds of people on YouTube that are going to tell you that you can just do this and leave it. I don't think that works. That's kind of like this instant gratification thing, which is like thinking that you can Google search some big topic on your phone, get 3 sentences, and freaking all of a sudden you're an expert. No. You have to put intent into this every day, hopefully a couple times a day. Now, if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world, but the more intention you put into, the better it's going to be. Okay, so that's the message thing. So, step 2, some basic candle magic. Same intentions. I have a pink candle here because I'm looking to perfect myself to become more perfect as a divine being, as a doing what I do. I'm really happy with my life. Like, in a sense, I'm just looking to fill out basic things that have to do with my spiritual life, that have to do with my music. Go online, look up the meanings of colors, of candles. I have my own language. A big part of this, I'm not going to tell you exactly how to do things. So go online, there's plenty of, do a search on color chart for candle magic. Okay, so the reason I chose pink is because I'm trying to perfect this understanding of the spiritual world. I'm trying to like sort of wrap up some final things about myself, and I'm really expecting to just bust out into being a new person that I myself am blown away with who I am. So I see pink as color of flowers, and I see flowers as just this sort of ultimate like perfection of like this fruit of a plant, of just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So that's the reason I'm using pink. And so then I have a knife here, and I'm basically going to just make rings all the way up the candle, one at a time. And I'm going to think those thoughts of what I want, and it's a little difficult for me to stay focused on talking and having the intention that I need to have with that. So here is a candle that I've already done. You can see that you can see that there's multiple rings all the way up there. And so I just see those like rings on the finger. There's all kinds of things in candle magic you can do with bigger candles that I prefer to do, of where you can take and you can inscribe symbols on candles, and I've done that. But anyways, so you take the candle, you take your oil. I've already blessed this candle, so you take the oil, and you can do this any way. For some reason, this is one of the traditional things that I've kept, is you go from the center of the candle with the oil on your hands, and you just basically, you anoint the candle, going upward to the end from the middle, and then you go to the other end. Have your thoughts focused on that, and then you just spend your time with the candle, more than the message. Not really more than the messages, but the more intention, the more little 1 or 2 minutes in a day. So if you're a working person, do this in the morning. Maybe just do it at night. If you're a working person, maybe just do it in the morning. Do it when you get home from work. Do it before bed or something like that. Generally, I try to go with a minimum of 3 times a day. So do the candle while you do the messages, and that's your basic entry sort of magic, really. Let's not just call it moon magic, but I'm just entering you into some basic stuff. And the reason I'm combining all of this with my vegan, my wellness channel, with food, with nutrition, with recipes, with all of this stuff that doesn't seem like it goes, is because to me, it's all magic. You're taking control of your destiny, being focused on nutrition. And this is not the bullshit of weight loss, of just like, oh, I want to look better. This is about, I want to be amazing. I want to be all that I can be. So, being vegan, being aware of nutrition, eating superfoods, adjusting your money flow so that you can buy better food. That's intent of change. So that's why we're combining all of this together, is because it goes together. All right, so hey, over here as usual, we have my website. We have my Bandcamp page, and over here, adjust. We have all my songs and stuff. So click on one of the songs to help me out. Links in the drop down to where else I am on the internet. I'm not like all over the place, still not on Instagram yet, but follow me on Facebook. I got I got several Facebook messages from people saying, oh, it's about time you're doing stuff on Magick. Don't know if you're like one of my food followers or whatever, if you're not into this, guess what? Don't care. So that being said, take what's important to you out of this and just leave what's not. So always be about food. So always be about learning to be the best that you can be. And this is Keyth saying bright blessings and namaste. And I will talk to you very soon again.